Good morning. All right. We're going to start with a quick little video that Christy found for us last night. We need tissues. My theory of doing no Zoom was going to force those 150 people on Zoom into the room. Did not change one iota the number of people that showed up for sales meeting. So maybe when they get on Zoom this morning, find out there's no Zoom, hope it'll show up to the next sales meeting. But we're going to force this back to 250 if it kills me. Christy sent that. I watched that last night. I was crying like a baby. Shannon and the kids walk in, the family. I'm like, why are you crying? I'm like, well, you watch this video and you can cry with me. Can we get the lights in the back? We know Reese, Pat Bender's son, grandson, still is having some struggles, but here's an update from him, from Pat on him. First, I want you to know, I need my cheaters as I'm crying, sorry. First, I want you to know how much my family and I appreciate what you're doing for Reese and what you have done for all other Sunshine Kids. A few days after we told Reese that you were going to sponsor a party and have food trucks, he woke up from a nap, smiled at his mom and said, I was dreaming about my party. Giving them something, anything to look forward to is huge for these kids. Everyone knows that kids with cancer have chemo and get sick. No one realizes the pain, illness, and isolation that these poor kids suffer through. Chemo is usually once a week, and normally we have to stay in the hospital 5 days for each treatment. Their immune system and illness prevents them from being with their friends. It goes on to where they says he went into Madonna, had to go back to the med center. He's been going back and forth, having struggles here. But he said at the end of the day here, he just said to his mom, why can't I be a normal kid? I just want to be a normal kid. So when we do this stuff, it does make a difference, guys. And we're not going to have our big event this September for the Sunshine Kids, but we're going to do the golf tournament, which I think is full. Do we have all the sponsors filled in that too? So we're going to make some good money there. Today we're going to start doing something that we would have done at the normal event, which we canceled last year. We'll end up having, we'll cancel this year. So we always bid off a parking spot on front, and an agent can bid on that and have their clients park there, or it's for them privately or whatever. So I want you to get Mamie Jackson on the phone. Do you have a phone? Yeah. She can't bid if she's not on the phone. But Mamie's out of town in California. Deb's out of town in Alaska, but Deb's got her bidder here. I see some other people that said they're going to bid. So we're gonna, huh? Shut up. This is for the kids. Did you just not watch the video? Heartless little bastard. So I want to do this. I'm going to be the auctioneer. I'm not a good auctioneer, but I hope we have a great experience here. So if you're gonna bid, can I see you maybe come in the room or something like that? So or at least make sure I can see your hand. All right, we're going to start off at $1,000. Who gives me $1,000 for the parking spot? Okay, we got Mamie. All right, Mamie, we're at $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000. Jesus Christ would give a lot more than $2,000. $2,100. Do I hear $2,200? $2,500? $2,500. $3,000. $3,000? $3,500? $3,500. Do I have $4,000? $4,000. Mamie? $4,000. Do I have $4,200? $4,200 right here. $4,500? $5,000? $5,000? $5,500? $5,500? $5,600. I love you people. The kids love you people.
Sorry, I meant it with more emotion. 56.
$6,000? $6,000? Do I have a second? 6,100? Candy just eyeballed you. He says you're not going to have hair. You're going to look just like him by the end of this day. 6,100? So 6,200? 6,200? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to squeeze any more juice out of you. 6,200, you got the first spot. You pick wherever you want. You do a second one for 6,200. And I'm for the first time, 6,200 for a third spot. Hold on, fuck, we're not done. I didn't know we had another bald guy bidding against you. I love bald guys today, I'm telling you that. Okay, 6,300. Do I got 6,400? 6,400. 6,500? 65? He gave me 4. 6,500? 6,500? 6,600? 6,700? Mamie, you cheap little bastard, what do you want to do here? I mean, you're in California spending $10,000. What's $6,700? 6,600? 6,600? Going once? Going twice? Sold. Okay. So 6,600, you get the first one. You pick whatever spot you want. Who was at 66? Who else would match the 6,600 for a second spot? 6,600 for a second spot? 6,600 for a third spot? I'll give one more away. 6,600? 6,600? I'll give 5 away. Okay. Sunshine Kids, what is that? What's 6,600 times 5? The rest of you people, if you're walking a long way into the office, you know why. Right? What's $33,000? $33,000 for the Sunshine Kids today. Let me have Mamie here. So I think Mamie gave you some instructions on auction. So I'm going to let you talk about that if you could, on auction items. Damn! I was hoping for 5,500 each. See? Now let me tell you guys one thing. I just saved you all $1,000 because if this had been at night and you'd been drinking, all bets off. That's why we do this when alcohol is served usually, okay? So if we weren't going to serve alcohol, I had to show something emotional to get you guys stirred up. Does Deb have any idea what she just spent? What was the number she gave you to go up to? 5? Yeah. I saw Terry over there. Go now, Aaron. Go more. And I thought Trina was going to be more. Mark's like, she's raising my hand, raising my hand. So guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. So you were at 6,600. Who bid 65? Who was the one? He bid 66 and finished with it. Okay. And then, or did you go 60? You didn't go to 67, did you? No, I think but I think you had bid 65. So first, and then we'll walk through first, second, third, fourth. We'll figure this out. You're going down to the end of the building, so that resolves that. You want the first one, and you're going to do this in memory of your son? Very cool. Deb Sizek did it for me, so I graciously accept that. I love parking there, walking into my office. Guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. We got you, AHS? Yes, AHS is up today. So give us a couple minutes here on what's going on. Then I'm going to give you guys an update on the market and kind of the roller coaster ride that we're going on here. And then we're going to go over. Are you going to do this? No. Okay, sorry. Yeah, support? Okay.
I don't know how to follow that. We did spend and save your clients like $622,000, or that's Nebraska total. So Lincoln,
how much of that
Omaha
went to kids with cancer?
I don't know. I'd have to take a survey on that. I'm sure there's some in there. So 2,529 claims so far this year with clients that have a home warranty. Okay. Failures are happening at a higher pace due to COVID. People are home more. They're putting more stress on their appliances, their systems. Make sure you have them covered. Appliances are breaking more. It's hard to find parts, so we're replacing more, right? When I moved to our house 2 years ago, we got new appliances. The dishwasher broke. 2 years old dishwasher broke. We couldn't get the board. American Home Shield replaced it. Okay. If we can't get parts because they're not available due to COVID or whatever the reason is, we will replace the appliance. My like for like comparison wasn't available, so they upgraded, right? So we're going to go like for like. If we can't find like for like, we're automatically going to upgrade you to something that has all the features that your current appliance has. Okay. No inspections, no problems, right? We don't require inspections. All of our warranties are non-evaluated. Your buyers don't know what they're getting into with that house if they're not having inspections. Make sure you have some coverage in place for them when they move in. If something fails, they're taken care of, okay? And well, you can pay for the warranty outside of closing as well. So if you're not including it, if you're not asking sellers to pay for it outside of closing. Have your buyers contact me directly. I can get them set up. I'll get them enrolled, and we can also set them up for monthly payments as well to help them with paying for the warranty. As always, guys, I'm always here. You have questions, you need help with anything, you want me to look at your inspection reports when you have them to know, is this covered, is that not covered? Just give me a call. I'm always happy to help, okay?
Thank you, thank you. Hey, Fred, seeing you. Are we still on? If I front the money, you're gonna find me a flip house. We're gonna flip it and give the proceeds to Sunshine Kids also? Yes. All right, cool. Thank you. So we should raise, it's not unreasonable with everything, especially raising $33,000. Did you write down those people's name that are given the $6,600? It was Heather. So I want to run through some numbers real quick on the market, and then we're going to dive into your stuff, okay? I know what's going on here. So average sales price last month for us was $320,000. Average pin price last month for us was $324,000. It's sitting at $316,000 this month. So the average sales price continues to go up in the marketplace. I think the overall market's somewhere around $280,000 or something like that. So we're $35,000, $40,000 over the total market. And then here's some numbers of what's going on. Yesterday's numbers, $6,700. Yesterday's numbers came in for the weekend, and then today, I always count Monday and Tuesday towards the weekend to see what we did for the whole weekend. If we hit 200 for the weekend, I think that's a very successful weekend. We had 137 transactions turned in over the weekend yesterday that got processed. So that tells me we're going to hit 200 for our Monday, Tuesday for the weekend. Obviously, we saw a clear slowdown over the 4th of July weekend. That is to be expected. We've really seen a slowdown here over the last 5 weeks, and just over the last couple of days, am I starting to hear activities picking back up on more multiple offers, on more activity for showings, and so forth. So the numbers, last week's numbers for new listings, again, remember, we only had 4 days, was 154 new listings went into the system. That's just us. These are just company numbers here, guys. I'm not talking about the rest of the market, but we're a pretty good indicator of what the whole market's doing. So 154 new listings last week in 4 days. That's a big number coming off of 4th of July weekend. 150 is my goal there if we hit that number. And then last month, we did 1,338 transactions. The previous year, which was an all-time high coming out of COVID, remember June was crazy. It was the only time we ever had over 1,500, so 1,533. So 1,338 to me, considering we had the Olympic swimming trials, we had the College World Series, we have people taking vacations like never before because they didn't take them last year. I think that's a solid month, even though we thought it was slowing down. You guys are still selling houses. We've got activity going on. So I think that's a really good indication that things are picking up. I tend to believe, when you talk to people around the country, that the summers, that we're not going to see 25, 30 offers. I know Nico underpriced a house everyone kept telling me about, and we had a bunch of offers. 365 went for 450. Is that right? But as a general rule, we're getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 offers on a house, not getting 25, 30 on a house as we were getting 60 days ago. But that's still good activity. My biggest concern is when your sellers are selling their house today, is they've been talking to their neighbors and friends that sold their house in March, in April, and May, that was getting $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 over list price, okay? That was getting 50 showings day one, that was getting 20, 25 offers. You've got to make sure you're setting correct expectations with them up front and let them understand that the market has changed. Explain to them people are taking vacations, explaining people are going to events, right? Explain what's going on here. I believe that once kids get back in school and a lot of those activities slow down, we're going to have a very strong September, October market again. We are, Carrie pulled these numbers for me. I think you texted them to me. But we're a little bit ahead of closed transactions first half of this year versus first half of last year. Sales volume way ahead because average sales price is up this year versus last year. So as again, as a company, which I think we're a pretty good indication of what's going on, it looks like to me we had a slowdown through the swimming trials, the College World Series, and the 4th of July. And over the last week, it seems like it's picking up. So set expectations with buyers and sellers. With it being a little slower than it was, you know, the people that you had that went to the sidelines, the VA, the FHA buyers, because we're hearing in our mastermind groups, right? Tons of people saying, I got a VA deal accepted. I got an FHA deal accepted. I got a deal that they actually were able to get home inspections. I mean, we're hearing tons of those conversations where they're paying for home warranties. We heard things for the last month that we weren't hearing at all. I'm looking at Heather because we do the most mastermind groups together, but Jay, we're hearing the same thing right in our mastermind groups. So those people that are maybe renters, first-time home buyers that went back to saying, I'm going to live with my parents or I'm going to rent on a month-to-month, be reaching out to them. I think there's a window of opportunity before the kids get back in school that they can get out there and compete against 3 or 4 or 5 potential buyers versus 25 potential buyers. So I see this as an opportunity for buyers to not be in a crazy bidding war. I'm not sitting there saying they're not going to be in any bidding war. The reason it's so important for you to set expectations, correct expectations with your sellers, is because I did have a handful of agents come to me that the seller was of the understanding we're going to get more showings, we were going to get more offers, and all of a sudden it didn't sell day 1, it sold day 2, day 3, day 4, and they got 1 or 2 or 3 offers, which were good offers, but they were maybe just at list price, just above list price, some cases just below, and the sellers were upset with the agent because the agent hadn't really told them the reality of what had changed. The number one thing we talk about in our mastermind groups all the time is what's going on with activity in certain price points, certain parts of towns, because we need you to be knowledgeable to make sure when you're educating your buyers and sellers in the marketplace, you're on top of the game. We know the average agent is a month or 2 behind. We know the average consumer is 3 or 4 months behind, right? We'll get a report here in a week or 2 talking about what closings were in June. Well, June's closings were the deals that were, accepted in April. So what good does that do us at the end of July to talk about what activity was in April? It's completely different than what's going on now. So we've got ATS has an app that we're going to talk about that we've heard through a number of our mastermind groups. That's pretty cool. So take that away for us.
Okay, good morning. Most of you guys know me already. I'm Melanie Duscott. I'm with Ambassador Title. Before I came on board with these guys, I was a lender. So this app kind of plays into how you guys can use it when you're out in the field. So how many of you guys have Ambassador Agent 1 on your phone? Awesome. Okay.
A good chunk.
I'm going to stick around after this session if you guys have questions, but I've been doing Coffee and Learns, doing the same thing. Tomorrow morning, I'll be over at Tavern 180 at 10 o'clock if you guys want more one-on-one. So,
Drinks at Tavern 180 at 10 in the morning, guys. What else could you ask for? Maybe we should have another auction.
So everything that's on your phone, you also have access to it on the computer. The the buttons or sessions are on the top of the screen on the computer, or on your phone, it's going to be on the bottom. But as far as the first session, how long do I have? 2 minutes? The first one is...
How long? I said exactly how long do I have? I cut you off, so just keep going.
Okay. So the very first one on the bottom here on my phone is the buyer's application. And these are calculations when you're outside the home and your lender gave the buyer this potential pre-approval letter and they're shopping and all of a sudden the price changed on them. And your buyer's like, oh my gosh, how's that going to affect my payment? What's my down payment going to be? Within seconds, you're outside the home that they just fell in love with, you've just walked through, you can plug in the numbers and give them these numbers. So we just plugged in, like the home price, we're plugged in $250. It automatically shows 20% down. We just switched that down to 5. Interest rate on the phone shows like 4.25. You know that that's not today's rate, but at the same time, don't put in today's rate. They're not locked yet. Rates could jump on you. So beef up the interest rate a little bit. I'm just plugging in 3.875. It's going to plug in insurance and taxes automatically. Now at the way top, it gave us the option to click add address. So if you're outside the home, you can plug in the address and it pulls in the taxes for that property. So this is showing the taxes already in, so it's more accurate. We factored in, you can plug in the HOA, and then the closing date was showing today. We moved that out a month. So if you hit compute, this is going to show up on your computer that quickly. So you're outside the home. I used to be the lender that would get that phone call on a Sunday when I was at my son's baseball game from any of you guys. Mary Tommy, you used to call me. So, so you're at the baseball game as a lender, and you're like, "Hey, can you revise these numbers for me?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'll get back to you in about 3-4 hours." And in today's market, you don't have 3 or 4 hours. This shot that to you that quickly. You're going to be the professional realtor that has all this information at your fingertips, and you know what their monthly payment is, all this stuff. But if you go to detailed closing cost, it's already calculating in Ambassador Title's closing fees and prepaids. On that lender's pre-approval that they got from their lender, it didn't have prepaids. I'd give my good faith estimate back in the day to the buyer, and then as they walked out the door, it was like, "Oh, by the way, you'll have to calculate interest and taxes coming back to the seller." So this is going to be pretty set, but again, at the bottom, it always says these are estimated figures. So because this is calculated on the computer, you can share or print the PDF, and you can send it to your buyer or send it to yourself or whoever. Now, if I did this on my phone that quickly, I could text it to my buyer that's standing right next to me. So it's pretty cool.
So those of you that have it on your phone, how many are using it on a regular basis? Okay.
And you can add your broker flat fee to the miscellaneous, so it calculates into your closing costs and have them sign off on that.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Cool.
My daughter was looking to buy a house. She had landed a decent job and was looking at moving out of the basement. And we looked at a house last spring, and she goes, "Mom, give me your phone," because she's a numbers freak. And so she was like plugging it all in. So, so that's just a taste of what you can use when you're outside representing your buyer. So if we go to seller at the top now, okay, we're going to plug in. Yeah, you can just plug in 930 again. South 180th. Okay, so again, with seller, it's going to calculate, pull in your taxes, but now on the seller side, when you plug in the address, property address, it actually brings in their loan balance. So it's pretty cool. So this is going to calculate for your seller what they can go. So let's sell it at 4.25. Broker fee, it's automatically going to factor in your 6%. Repairs, miscellaneous. For miscellaneous, click on that little button there. You can add closing costs or subtract. Say that they've got pets and they're going to give a $10,000 carpet allowance. In today's world, it doesn't happen that often, but maybe it would. So down here, let's plug in carpet allowance and then 10,000. It doesn't have to be spelled right.
That's carpet in French.
And if you click done, it's going to tell you that that's going to show up in the numbers. So click done again. It already factored in the taxes, your loan balance, what interest rate they're plugged in at. But I'm not plugged in at 3, and let's put it at 2 3/8. 375. And we'll just keep the closing date. So again, if you calculate that, that's going to give you your seller's net proceeds, estimated. Now, in today's world, though, there's such things as multiple offers. So if we go to, where are we at? I'm used to doing this on my phone. Multiple offers. This is where you could plug in up to 12 multiple offers. And if you have 75 multiple offers, you just print the first 12, and then you do another 12.
Or you just put the best 12 in there.
Yeah. So let's scroll down a little bit. It should give you a place to add new offer. We're just going to plug in like 3 or 4 different offers real quick on the same home so you can kind of see what it shows like afterwards. So let's say that we're going to get one for 430. Earnest money, let's put it in at 5. Home warranty, you can leave or put it in. What's a home warranty cost?
700.
7. Let's just keep everything the same. Let's add another one. Yeah, with you can plug in.
Your buyer's broker fee is really commission, right? And broker's flat fee is a separate category that needs to go into miscellaneous. Is that right, Mel?
I'm sorry.
As you have buyer's broker fee, that's really the commission, and then broker's flat fee needs to go in a separate category. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. Play with it a little bit, and because it's easier to play on the computer a little bit, get familiar with it, but then you do have all of this right at your fingertips. We're just going kind of fast, and then let's add another one. Let's add 450, 2,500. You can plug in whatever you want. And then let's add one more, 435. And let's change this one. Instead of conventional, let's change it to VA. 10,000.
Add, yeah.
Add. Okay, so once you've got them all in, when you send it, click on share and print. So you've plugged in all the numbers that quickly, and within a minute or less, you're going to have a very professional looking spreadsheet to show your sellers. And again, you can email this to them, you can print it, you can text it to them, but it gives them a pretty simple rundown as far as all the numbers, and there's my picture. So as far as marketing, we're going to get to marketing here soon.
2 minutes.
Ambassador Title. Go ahead.
2 minutes.
Ambassador
Sorry.
Title provides this as a service. So as far as if we go to, and then all the numbers. If you go to premium, you'll be able to add all your information, your picture, your contact information, and anything that you're sending as far as Instagram, Twitter. You can plug all these numbers in. Let's go down to flyers, filters. You can go to any of these filters and they give you different seasonal options like Cinco de Mayo or March Madness, all these different offers. But if you click on any of these on your phone, you snap a picture of yourself, a picture of the house, and you can put it on Instagram, Twitter, social media of your choice. So it costs you 99 cents a month for all of this. So to have your picture and everything out there, it's amazing. I'm going to jump back to calculators. Again, we're going to play. If you guys want to do one-on-one with me, let me know. But there's different calculators. One of my fun ones is rent versus buy. You guys are next door having drinks at Pitch. Somebody mentions, oh my gosh, my rent's going up again. You being the realtor you are, you're like grabbing your phone, you're plugging in, oh, he said he's going up to $1,900 a month. You plug in $1,900 a month, $250 for a purchase price. Within seconds, you're going, hey, by the way, what's your phone number? I'm going to send you something. I'm a realtor, and I don't mean to intrude, but you don't have to return my phone call, but I'm going to send you some numbers. And it shows them how they're going to clear their costs within like less than 2 years. So rent versus buy is a good one. Let's hit calculators again. Monthly affordability is another one that you guys would use. That's when, again, your buyer, you're ready to take these buyers out. They're pre-approved, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, I'm approved up to $500,000. But you turn to them and it's like, what's your payment comfort level? They say they don't want to go any higher than $2,500 for total PITI. You plug that in, you plug in their interest rate, and within, you can just do it real quick. And 3.875.
After this, Gina, we probably got to pluck out of this.
And then you click on compute, and that quickly it's going to show you how much they should be able to afford. So that's all I've got. Again, Melanie Duscott with Ambassador Title. If you guys want to
And
stick around.
Yeah, when are you
afterwards.
doing your class on this?
Well, I do them every second Wednesday of the month over at Tavern 180. I try to post it in the Berkshire Facebook page. So, but I'm over there buying coffee.
Gina, we
if you
can
guys
add that
want
to
it.
either your Monday note or my Friday note too. Perfect.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So, couple things. Our quarterly numbers are out. So, we have individuals on here also. So, quarterly numbers. Everybody, teams and individuals on the top side. Again, at the bottom it shows halfway through the year to be on this front side, you would have to have 5 million closed of sales volume, 25 units, and 125,000 of gross commission income. On the individuals, it's just exactly half of that. 2.5 million of sales volume closed. These are closed numbers. 12.5 closed units and 62.5 gross commission income. So I know this is important to some of you because I start getting calls about the 7th of the month. Do you have numbers? You have numbers? You have numbers. So there you guys go. Real quick, I want to give you an update, and then I want to answer questions on this because I think this is important to the entire marketplace. I've met with D.R. Horton a couple times now and have had 12 conversations with them. So I've wrapped my arms around, and if you've been in a mastermind group, you've heard a lot of this. I think I've wrapped my arms around much better what they're doing, and some of the things they're doing are a little bit of a surprise to me that was kind of unexpected. One is D.R. Horton is the largest home builder in the United States. Omaha really is late to the party when it comes to having a national regional builder. The first time we had a regional builder was when Hubbell came over and bought the home company, what was that, 2 years ago? Des Moines, a smaller community than this, has had a regional builder forever, and they've even actually had D.R. Horton in their marketplace for the last 2.5 years. So there's probably not any city in the United States that's bigger than Omaha that has not already had both regional and national builders. So one of the things that I talked about, or I don't know if it was Megan or somebody had mentioned when we had our panel from the Chairman's Circle thing that I ran for Berkshire Hathaway National here a couple months ago, is the lady in Atlanta said that we really believe home prices in Atlanta compared to other markets comparable to that, compared to Dallas, to Phoenix, to Denver, other similar sized markets, was always undervalued. And these price increases we think will continue to stay there. Any of you that have listened to me over the last 10 to 15 years hear me say that I really think Omaha prices are undervalued compared to the Midwest. And as I walk around Denver, Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago, Minneapolis, all larger cities were clearly less expensive than them to buy a home. I understand our property taxes are higher, but even if you go to Lincoln or Des Moines, markets smaller than us, we're less expensive or the same price as them. So the number one component of why our real estate's been less expensive than everybody else is not been the labor and it's not been the materials. That's pretty consistent across the markets in the middle part of the country. The number one component of that has been the land cost has been less. So what I found out here is a couple things. One is they said we will be the largest builder in Omaha within 2 years. Sounds like 800 houses plus is their goal. They told me initially 800. I met with the regional president yesterday, trying to get them to do all of their stuff, their closings with ATS. So we'll see how that goes. But I know they're doing a bunch of their development stuff with us, so that's good. But there's going to be a couple things we've not seen in the Omaha market before. They are going to, from the time the foundation goes in the ground, they're saying the house will be done in 90 days. Even when Hearthstone was around, they didn't get a house done in 90 days. The reason they can get this done in 90 days is they are doing 0 pre-sales. They're not selling to, they don't want that consumer interaction in the process. They don't want to slow it down by saying, pick your lot. They're just taking a street and they're going to go back and forth, because I've seen their schedule on some of these subdivisions now. They're going, build it across the street. And so this framing crew gets done here, right? They've got a couple framing crews going. They just keep going down the street together. The plumber electrician keeps going down the street together. So you cannot pick your paint color. You cannot pick your cabinet colors, your countertop colors, your carpet colors. You have 0 selection choices. So when you take that consumer out of there, saying, I bought the house, oh, the light fixture's in the wrong thing, or that's the wrong paint color, or right? You know, there's a lot of time delays in the new construction process because of the consumers trying to make the consumer happy and them having choices to pick out and select things and bid that out. So that totally gets eliminated out of the process. So we've never seen that in Omaha before. He did say, they're not set on this, he said, we are looking at doing what I think I've talked to you guys about that we know for sure is happening in Arizona. We're looking at doing what they're doing in some other markets, because they're building 4,000 to 5,000 houses a year in Dallas, in Denver, in Atlanta, in Phoenix, and these other markets. And it's called a lottery system, where they're going to say, we're going to build a house possibly, and 20 people want to buy the house. And when we get to a certain stage where it's within maybe 30 days of closing, then we're going to go down the list. And if there's 20 people that are in the lottery system, you're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to just draw a number, and they're going to start making a call to buyer 1, buyer 2, buyer 3, buyer 4. And if buyer 1 says, hold on, I got to call my husband, okay? They're like, that's great, but we're going to buyer 2, 3. Now, if buyer 1 can't get a hold of the husband and get back to them by the time they get to the next, that's how this lottery system works. Too sad, too late. Doesn't matter, you're number 1. They're not giving you the option. And if buyer 5 is the person that finally picks up the phone and says, I'll take it. So if they do that, we're going to coach you guys on make sure your buyers answer the phone and make sure that they've talked to spouses to make sure they understand if they get that call, what criteria, what they're trying to live with, because trying to get a hold of that other person. My understanding of the other markets, they're not calling the agent, again, because they don't have the time to go through the process to call the agent, to have them call them. So whoever they get a hold of, they're saying, okay, I need you to come in today by 5 to sign the contract. They're not 100% committed, but he floated that idea to me. We've heard it in the past from other people. Do you have your hand up? Can we get a, I have really good hearing, but Maggie's walking back. Mr. Big Shot Sunshine Kids.
Oh wait, this one doesn't have batteries. The lights.
What'd he say? Right. So my understanding is they want, and I know this because we just had an engineering company lay it out for them. They want 55, and I'm going to get to this. They want 55 and 60-foot wide lots that are 115 to 130 feet deep. So price, they're going to be at or below celebrity as a starting point. So price is going to depend. Here's what we know. We know McCune is doing 2 subdivisions with them. He had a third one he was going to do. They ended up selling that to Celebrity. Herb Freeman, who was going to do acre lots for the last 15 years, never got off the ground, is now building 60-foot lots on his, things that was going to be 2-acre lots. In Bennington, Arun Aguilar had a piece of ground in Elkhorn that he's building for them. And there's some other ones that we know they've got under contract in Elkhorn for 85 lots. And they're looking at Omaha Public Schools. They're looking at everywhere. He said last night, we like Gretna, we like Bennington, but they're in Papillion and Bellevue also. So they're going to go all over the market. The question was, are they going to go to Blair and to Fremont? The answer is no. This is all volume for them. They can't run through houses fast enough in those markets.
Are they representing themselves as
So
far as all states?
that's where we're heading, yes. So here's the process. Typically, when you see this on a regional or national builder, you see what Celebrity's doing. We develop the ground ourselves. We have our own agents, and we're the builder, right? All 3 components is usually controlled by that one person. In this case, they're going to be the builder. They're going to have their own agents, but they're not going to develop any of the ground. And it's going back to the point I made earlier. They're paying, I know this for a fact because I've seen I've got their contracts on my desk. They're paying retail for the ground. So they're not going to have that spread. And so I asked the regional president yesterday why that is. I said, and he said they're even in their larger markets where they do have developers, the Dallases, the Phoenixes, they're thinking about getting away because their return on investment, because the land development deal, you start today, it takes 1.5 years to 2 years to get that thing buildable, then it takes 3 to 4 years to get through it. It's so capital intense that they're better off letting someone else use their money to do that, have a schedule to close these out, and just keep focusing, putting their money in building and flipping houses. When he said that, it finally made sense to me because on a 250 subdivision lot, they're probably leaving $4 million on the table from the development profit on that thing. So I'm like, $4 million seems like a lot to me, but they've obviously analyzed this and they can get a return on their investment. They think building houses greater than the $4 million they're leaving on the table. So remember what I said earlier, Omaha, I believe, has been cheaper over the last 15, 20 years because our land cost has been less than others. You now have a national builder who says they're going to build more houses than anybody else in the marketplace. And Scott, come in here because you ran some numbers for me I may need to get confirmation on. Coming into the marketplace, building 800 plus houses. Douglas and Sarpy County last year, was it 2,900 houses were started, permits? Right. 2,900. Still not even close to 2006. 29, yeah, nowhere close, because we used to, the numbers were 4,500, 5,000 back in 2006 and 7, right? Right. So we've talked about the perfect storm in previous sales meetings. We've undersupplied the market with new construction the last 12 to 13 years. 2,900 permits. By the way, that's the most in the last 10, 2,900 last year is the most we've seen over the last 11, 12 years. You have to go back to 2007 and below before we've seen more than 2,900. And that's when they were doing 4,500 to 5,000. 2,900 permits. These guys are going to come in and add 800 units to the market. So one of the reasons, as in the perfect storm, I said I don't believe prices are going to come back down, is just supported here. Land cost is going to get, right, you're going to have more demand for land. They're paying retail costs for land, which is going to raise the cost of land to others. And we know that we have a labor shortage across the country. Omaha's not unique to that, right? We've got labor that's been raising their prices. Jerry's been using the same people forever, but they're raising their prices because they're working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, right? This is the problem everybody has right now. And now you've just added basically 25, 30% more houses to the marketplace than you had before. So I think labor cost is going to continue to go up and not come down. Land cost is going to go up and not come down. So if someone's buying an existing house at what we think are crazy prices, we talked about the average sales price there early, going up and up and up the last 2 or 3 years. I tend to believe those houses for the next 3 to 5 years at minimum are probably secure and not going to devalue. The only thing that can happen is some crash to the economy, but even if rates go from 3 to 4%, we believe we stop having appreciation in houses, but I don't see depreciation in values. I think they believe they have more efficiencies and the volume they're running.
Less staff meetings.
They have less staff meetings. Probably have less staff, quite honestly.
I think that's a good point about the labor because all the builders, laborers, subs are busy. And I heard that they're coming in and trying to cherry pick subs and offer more money to get them forward to them. And that's starting to happen.
Because they are building now. What are some of the subdivisions they're in already? They're down in Bellevue and Sarpy County because they've went into existing subdivisions and they're already building houses over the last 60 days.
I think it's like 40 acre Cape Arthur down there.
Yes. Yes. Bennington, they're already building? Okay.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Because they have their own agent,
Yes.
are we still going to be as a buyer's agent?
Yes. Good question. And with the regional president, I got more information on that yesterday. He's talking about doing something that I hope he does, that I will tell you, because I was a secondary lender for Hearthstone back when they went bankrupt. They did something very similar to this. They talked about initially coming to the market and saying, let's offer 3%. And they found out that really 2.4 is the normal. They're like, there's a shortage of houses. We're going to pay 2.4. He said yesterday, the regional president says, I love agents. He's talking about implementing a program saying that if you sell house 1, you're going to get your 2.4. But you sell house 2, this is within a 12-month period. House 2, you're going to get an increased commission, like 2.4 plus $1,000. House 3, up to a point where after house 5, they're going to give you 3.4% versus, do you guys remember Hearthstone used to do that? If after you sold house 2, 3, 4, they would either put you in a bonus pool or they would pay you more. He's talking about creating a system there where there's incentive. The people selling multiple houses will get 2.4 plus $1,000 or a higher commission or plus something like that. And so that I thought was very positive. Second question.
My second question is, what are the standard features that they're going to have since we made changes?
I have no clue. Does anybody, we had people in mastermind groups that have dealt with them in Arizona and in Florida.
They've got a website. You can go to their website and look at their floor plans.
Carpets included. Go ahead. Speak.
I just came from Denver, and we had a lot of D.R. Horton homes there, and they're very much like Lennar, if anyone
Yeah.
knows them. Track homes, basic, low grade.
It's going to be your entry level.
appliances.
It's going to be your entry level
Yeah.
home.
Yep.
So they have like hard surfaces, countertops, like quartz and granite?
Usually they don't. Usually it's,
Formica.
Yeah, the Formica, cheaper, just low end finishes.
They're going to have models in every one of these subdivisions, is what I've been told. Yes.
Did you say they only have 8 floor plans?
So I did not ask that question again yesterday, but yes, my initial conversation with the Omaha rep and his brother's the regional president. His brother sold his company in Des Moines to them. They decided not to buy in Omaha because they said the only reason to buy is to grab the land. But they said they're coming with 8 floor plans with 4 different elevations on each one of those. So you're basically going to have 32 elevations, 8 different floor plans. That was my conversation 2.5 weeks ago. I did not ask yesterday in my meeting if that's still the case or not. So thoughts, questions? Yes.
Okay, won't this bring down the value though of some areas if it's more of a tract home instead of a higher?
So one is in some cases they're going to go in and buy the whole development and it'll all be them.
So it'd be like celebrity.
Like Celebrity does. In Des Moines, which is Hubble, which owns the home company, they've went in, the home company has developed ground and sold, according to them, and I'm going to have lunch with the Omaha rep here hopefully next week, that they've went in and even though the Hubble developed it, the home company here, they basically sold half the lots to them and half the lots to the home company. And they said it really doesn't because it allows them to get through a neighborhood faster. So my gut is when they're paying retail price for the land, right, and the labor cost is going up here, I don't, and he said yesterday, the regional president said yesterday, we're looking. He says, we track daily these closings to see what things are closing at, and we're going to price it. He says, we're a publicly traded company. We've got to make money. We're going to price this where we think that what we think the market will bear. So I don't think they're going to come in and undercut a neighborhood if they're building in a neighborhood because they've got to drive as much profit as they can to the company. Just knowing how publicly traded companies work, that makes sense to me. So I don't see this long-term devaluing things. The good I see out of this is we've got a shortage of existing homes. We're going to continue to have a shortage of existing homes the next 3 to 5 years. By someone coming in and putting this thing, focusing on the lower end of the market for new construction into the marketplace, I think this really substantially helps us have 3, 4, 5 years, right? Those families moving to those houses. We will have resale houses down the road that we just don't have today. The reason new construction is doing so well today is that we don't have any existing homes for all practical purposes. That was the one number I did not go through. I apologize. So we are seeing over the last 45 to 60 days, the number of listings in the marketplace as the market has slowed down has increased tremendously. New listings, Douglas and Sarpy County only, right? Once we've took out contract pendings, but including no-show status, was 912. That number got down to 500 and something, wasn't it, 60 days ago? We were down to 300 and something on existing homes once we scrubbed out new construction and once we scrubbed out contract pendings. New construction, including no-show status, which is 121, which is about, because we were averaging 140 to 150. Existing homes, Douglas and Sarpy County, is at 625 now. So we're getting a little bit more inventory. Now that moratorium was supposed to expire at the end of June, got pushed to the end of July, I believe. I do believe when that happens, some of those people have not been making a payment for the last year plus. I don't believe that we're going to have foreclosures, but I do tend to believe that we could get some houses on the market that could increase our inventory a little bit when that happens. So our job here is we want to make sure that we're keeping you guys as educated and up to speed on things that affect the market. So when you're talking to your buyers, your sellers, you're more knowledgeable than everybody else in the marketplace. So I hope that when we run through these type of things, you guys find this educational, you're absorbing this, and then you're walking out there and communicating this and how this affects your clients in the marketplace. Any other questions or thoughts on this? I'm positive you've got to, I've not asked, I've just assumed you've got to register your buyers. So again, as we've said as a broken record, even if you got someone who says they don't want new construction, if they're under 400,000, drive them to Celebrity, drive them to D.R. Horton, drive them to all these places and register them so you are protected, guys. Okay? Any thoughts, questions on that? Yes. I think they're going to do that. From listening to that regional president yesterday, he's pretty proactive of how do I get the agents in the community involved. So I think they're going to have some programs rolling out. We didn't get in the weeds about specifically what that would be. So we've seen, I believe, the real estate industry change more in the last 2 years than we've seen in any 10-year span ever, right? When you look at COVID and how that's changed the viewer, the people view homes, when we look at now regional and national builders coming in the marketplace, the market is clearly changing like we've never seen before. So we've got to make sure we're staying abreast of this. I've got to hope at some point in time, you know, we're not selling any more houses today, guys, than we did 20 years ago. Yet we've got double the agents in the marketplace. I'm hoping at some point in time we start weeding some of those people out. Scott, we probably need to run that number. But remember, last year at the end of the year, Scott ran numbers for me, and 29% of the agents in the entire MLS sold 0 houses. Remember we had a company that does discounting that had 39% of their agents that sold 0 houses last year. I'm not understanding why you stay in the business if you sold 0 houses last year.
Well, but CNN actually just did a story about, you know, something like 2.2 million agents in the country and only about 2 million listings available. So over 200,000 people not even having a chance to sell anything.
Yeah. So I know, and if we could, I would, but that's, you got to remember the board is a nonprofit organization, and so if we could thin people out, I would do that. The car show got canceled last Saturday. It's going to be not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So please, use that as a vehicle. We get 1,500 to 2,000 people there. Use that as a vehicle to call your clients, invite them to the show. We need to stay connected. Client appreciation parties, we've got away from them over the last year. It's time to start planning a client appreciation party. And please remember, it's not the 30% that show up that's only the important part. It's the 70% of the people you reach out to, right? The goodwill that you extend to them to come to whatever the party is. It's an excuse for you to stay connected with them. You need to make sure that we're getting back reconnected with people as we get back into some normal state here. So we did get a little bigger crowd. I think we've lost 15, 20 people here since we started. But so we're gonna stay no Zoom at least through the summer. So, and I do know we got a lot of people on vacation right now. We know there's always a low in the summer when people are doing things. But please, those of you here, just ask one other person. Just say, let's show up to sales meeting. I think next sales meeting, let's get a panel together of top producers talking about what they're doing to continue to manage things through this process. What else do you need me to talk about? Good Guy Award. Who's giving it away? I am. Okay. I don't understand why the Good Guy Award keeps going to women.
Is HR here? Okay, so John and Diane Beers is who won last time, but they're out of town, so I have the privilege of presenting again this week. So this person has been a realtor for 38 years. They're always willing to lend a hand to anyone that needs help. They have been a mentor to many, but especially to us. More importantly, they are a friend that is always there when you need them. So serving meals to the homeless, check. Real estate question, check. Need a boat ride? Check. Need to know the name or artist of a song? Check. So long story, not so short, this person is a great, good guy. We wish we could be here to present to him. So it is...
Finally. The
Corky
sexist trophy
Grimes.
comes home.
Corky Grimes.
Corky. I think Corky's out there, isn't he?
Yeah. I have a couple of other quick... Oh, here's an open door right here.
I didn't have to go in.
There you go.
Congratulations, Corky.
just like two quick things, but I can add it in the email, but a lot of you don't even read it anyway. Is we're having another Sunshine Kids event. So I don't know if any of you attended the Zumba we did like 2 years ago. Katie Loring is in charge of that. It'll be at Genesis, and we can get you guys details later. But you went.
I did.
It was so fun.
I was so skinny after that. You guys would have never noticed me.
It was really fun, and it was really successful. So we're going to do it again on September 10th. And then also Friday, July 30th, the OABR is having a family fun day at Funplex from 3 to 8, and it's just $15 per person. So Andrea Lane.
It is for everybody, not just families. There's a pool area. We're hoping to get everybody out. We haven't done this event in a while. We feed you. We're going to be playing some fun door prizes sponsored by some of our lovely affiliates. So there's a bar in the pool, plus there's a beer keg that was sponsored. So we hope that you come out, win some prizes, have a beverage, dip in the pool, and have some fun.
Thank you very much. Guys, how fun was that watching that? I mean, the number went higher than I thought, and we kept getting more bidders than I thought. So those of you, I will circle around with all of you today. We will get those signs made. We'll start picking those places out. But thank you, and raising $33,000 for the Sunshine Kids today in a matter of 4 minutes, and that was a lot of fun. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.